So when we first started talking about things like ChatGPT, like when this first came onto the scene, and Bard, and like also Bing, specifically Bing, and how it would like summarize articles for you and all that stuff, we had this long discussion about like, how is the internet still going to work? Because people need to read articles in order for those websites to get paid to pay the people to write the articles so that people can read the articles. And, you know, Bing, Microsoft, they kind of just went very haphazard, and they're just like, we need to be first, we need to be first, we need to be first. They just put out all these features, didn't really care about how it would affect the internet. Google took a very long time, and we were like, they've got a lot to lose. Of course, they're thinking very critically about how this affects writers, all this stuff, how it's going to work. But the more time goes on, it seems like they're not thinking very critically about how this affects writers and stuff. Currently, there's something called the Google Search Generative Experience, which you can
I have it enabled.
Yeah, me too. You can opt into it. Anytime you Google something, it basically like gives you a bullet list of your answer or just things related to your question. And it does give you three of the top source links that you can then click into. Not the best, but at least they're trying. With this, you'll be on an article, which I guess you already clicked on the article, right? But then you click a button that just says summarize this for me, and it just gives you a bulleted list of the main points of the article.
Yeah, because you're in Chrome. So you're in Google Chrome, and you pulled up a website, it's got an article on it, and you're like, you know how you probably see sometimes that translate button where you're like, oh, I pulled up a website, it's Spanish, let me hit the translate button, it automatically gives me the English version. Probably just gives you a summarize button. You click that, probably a little bubble pops up over the top of the article with an ad-free short text box version of like a summary of the article, and then you got your info, and then you peace out. My article reading habits are like, I guess I could kind of divide it into a couple different categories. Like I either read an article for like all of the information in it, like if I'm reading a review, or I'm reading it for like one fact.
Command F immediately.
One fact, or I'm reading it for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like a car review or like some random article about a story that's interesting. And I'm reading it because it's an entertaining article. And I feel like this totally erases all of those.
Yes.
Like if I'm reading for entertainment, I don't want to use this feature. I want to read the article anyway for entertainment. But if I came for the fact, like this is going to summarize it and find the fact, just like Command F would. And if I came for like a review, I hate to say it, but this is probably going to do a really good job of summarizing a review, too.
There's a reason, like, I think it's Android Police or Android Central. Probably all of the Android websites probably do this now. At some point near the end of when I was at Android Authority, everyone started making this, like, what you need to know section at the very top that was just a list of positives and negatives.
Just deliver that.
And then they would also do the entire review.
Yeah.
Although for some low brow stuff that not as many people were interested in, they would just do that. And that already seemed like a problem. And then I got back, I made it, and I was eating, and I was like, this is really bad. And then I was like, I was so focused on like getting through it. I ate a quarter of it, and I started feeling like woozy. And then I looked it up later. Nutmeg is a hallucinogenic if you eat enough of it.
It's like dangerous too.
It can be dangerous.
So don't
do that.
Do not do that. But
don't eat a cup
of nutmeg.
So there's like three categories of car announcement. There's one, the car gets announced by a reputable enough car company, and then sometime within the next year it comes out. That's relatively immediate. Number two is car gets announced by either a reputable or somewhat new car company, and it's not on time, but eventually it does come out. And number three is car gets announced, car never comes out, car never had a shot of coming out.
Where's
Lucid,
Roadster in that?
So Roadster is unknown. I tend to think it's in the eventually category. Cybertruck also in the eventually category. Like it's not coming out on time, but it seems to like eventually be coming out. Lucid is in the eventually category.
Lucid definitely got to the point also of like...
It was years.
And it got to the like almost assuming it's not coming out category.
Yeah,
like,
it was in danger of like... Because the company's financial history was questionable, but we have like, what was the first one we saw? The
Faraday Future.
The Faraday Future. That's the Faraday Future. I feel like is in the never category. When I visited Lucid to see the Air, they had like I'll say it's an SUV under a tarp or whatever.
Recently or the time I went?
I was there by myself.
Okay.
And I think they were showing me the Air GT. And they were like, "Here's our next project." I was like, "Can you show it to me?" And they're like, "No, it's under a tarp." And I was like, "All right, well, cool. I know it's happening eventually, but yeah,
I'm just gonna do that at CES. I'm just gonna have a car under a tarp, and people are gonna be like, "What's that?" I'll be like,
No.
"New EV. It's got an ECS.
Yeah.
Can I see it? No.
No.
Is there a name? Nope.
So I don't know the name, but I have seen it under a tarp. So there's that.
How do you know it wasn't just like a cardboard box?
I don't.
In the shape of a car.
It was in the shape of an SUV, and I think I saw the bottom of the wheels.
To be fair, half those prototypes basically are cardboard.
It might have been clay. It might have been